What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to your favorite pond, the Coy Pond, episode 100.
Whoa!
How about them apples?
What the heck?
The centennial episode, I think.
Centennial.
The centennial episode of the Koi Pond.
That's why we have the red, white, and blue.
That's why we
centennial.
got we got red, white, blue. It's all over the place.
That's right.
As always, I'm joined by your host, my co-host, the guy, your guy, K-Dog. And as always, you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music. And don't forget to leave a question on SpeakPipe. One day we might get one, but no questions aren't a bad thing. It means we're covering our bases. And I will say we've been doing pretty well with our picks this year up until this point. Now, I said that. Everybody, that's your disclaimer. This is not betting advice. And as always, you can find some hot merch on the website. Christmas is right around the corner. First it's Halloween. Next before anything, it's January 1st. Don't forget to check out the website, the shop, however you want to say it, for whatever you might need. There's plenty of everything, trust me. And 100th episode.
Yeah, how exciting, huh?
How about those apples?
I can't believe we get this far?
No, I mean, it's funny. We've talked about it, I think, when we hit 100 subscribers, but now that we've hit our 100th episode, how far this podcast has come, and just from what it was the first 20 episodes to now, pretty good. Some pretty good, whatchamacallit. Oh, don't forget your mic.
Yeah, that's helpful, isn't it?
I was like, why can't I hear him in my ear at all? It'll be okay.
Oh my god, I lost my hearing.
But yeah, no, it's crazy how far this has come.
Yeah.
I think the off season we might start getting back into some of the fun stuff. We used to give out like stock picks, movie reviews.
Yeah.
We might venture back into that this off season because I think this past off season was a little rough for both of us.
Yeah.
We'll do that. We'll revisit that. But hey, we don't need to worry about that right now. It's football season. I dare say our picks have gotten a lot better. This past week I only messed up. I want to say it was the Rams, the Eagles, and one other game I messed up. But we're doing pretty good there. Life's good. Thank you all so much for supporting up until 100 videos at least. Well, I think we have 176 subscribers right now.
Closing on 200.
A shit ton of views.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are amazing. Hopefully you're enjoying it. It's what we like to do. It's our way of kind of relaxing midway through the work week.
Therapy.
It is.
It's
wonderful.
It's our Wednesday therapy every week.
Yes.
You'll see this Thursday morning, but for us, it's the end of the day Wednesday, as you know. And it's, we get here and we might be a little tired. We fire up with a couple Red Bulls or whatever, and once you get done with this, you feel better for sure every week.
And who doesn't like talking football? It's a fun time. It's a great time.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, we don't really need to cover favorite players to wear 0 in this episode.
Yeah.
You can think of Calvin Ridley, and that's about all I can think of. I think the 0 number is relatively new in the NFL.
Yeah, I think
it's like 5 years now or something like that.
Yeah.
It hasn't been long.
No. Yeah, there's a couple. There's one player, a linebacker that played for Cincinnati, University of Cincinnati.
Okay.
That's now on, I think he's on the Vikings. We're 0.
Is that like
He's like, really
Van
good
Winkle?
linebacker.
Is it Van Winkle?
No.
Okay. Never mind.
But it doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
Colin will throw it up here maybe.
Yeah, I can throw it up here,
Next
and
time.
we'll get back into it maybe next week for one. Since
Yeah.
we skipped the first 40 numbers or something, maybe we'll bring it back for that.
Might do that.
Yeah, we'll see. How do you guys feel? Leave a comment.
Leave a comment.
Nevertheless, let's jump right into this week's slate. Thursday night, today, for you wonderful people, Eagles and Giants.
Yeah.
Eagles at Giants.
And if you are doing any FanDueling or one of those, if you are doing any fantasy football, and if you're just kicking it around with your friend group or whatever and picking games, it's fun to be right.
It is fun to be right.
Any of those instances make watching the NFL so much more fun.
For me, it's always been less about the big bets and more about I just want to say I was right about something.
Yeah.
So it's way more fun just to sprinkle a couple bucks on some games.
Exactly right.
Obviously, the following picks are not gambling advice. This is just for fun. Don't take it too seriously. Only bet what you can afford to lose.
Don't forget the fine print right there, right?
Disclaimers, we're doing this more and more. I just want to throw that out there.
But I started with that because I picked the Eagles to lose last week, and they did, in fact, lose.
You did have that right. You had that right.
Yep. And so we are starting with the Thursday night game, which is the Eagles at the Giants.
Yes. This is interesting. Obviously, Jackson Dart, second showing. I think you could say him against the Chargers, it was more the Chargers than anything. They blow that game to the Saints. He doesn't look amazing. He has plenty of rushing yards, but as for his passing performance, subpar. Obviously, part of that you could apply to Malik Neighbors is out now.
Yep.
That's a huge blow to any offense.
Big time.
When you have your bona fide wide receiver 1 all of a sudden not there anymore.
Yep.
Now, given that, Jackson Dart will probably be fine in the long haul, but for the time being, he's now playing against a Eagles defense.
Yeah.
It's at New York, but that's nowhere the Eagles aren't familiar with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A low total like this also makes me feel like this is a very coverable number, too.
Yeah.
Just notionally.
Yeah, I would say it's extremely low. 40.5 points, I would struggle to take the under on that.
Yeah, and you also have to think you're either going to be on the side of it's a divisional game. We watched the Commanders beat the Eagles a couple years ago.
Yep.
It was a huge deal on Thursday Night Football then.
Saw the Patriots beat the Bills just this last weekend in prime time.
Yep. And
like you said, divisional games
tend to be close.
Divisional primetime games.
Yes.
That's amped up even more.
It's something different. Dable has lost to this team plenty of times, I think. At least Eagles are 7-1 in the last 8. That's bad enough as it is.
And they got beat, so they're pissed.
Yeah, and the Eagles just got done being beat at home, I think, too, wasn't it?
Against Denver. And the Giants are kind of, there's a lot of cracks right now, man.
There are. And personally, I don't know if I'm going to go with spread-wise. Maybe you take the Giants to cover a 10.5. I love the Eagles to cover 6.5. I think with no production from Saquon last week, you have to imagine the Eagles are going to put emphasis on we have to use them. Yeah. They're going to be looking for quick routes, probably to A.J. Brown. I could see him being a heavy target. A.J. Brown's season so far hasn't been bad, but it has been probably a little bit more frustrating for him.
That's right.
The Giants have a good defensive line. If there's anything on that team that's good, it's that.
Yep.
So I would imagine you're going to see quick passes. A.J. Brown probably get a couple deep shots.
Yep.
Love him again in this game.
Yep.
I can't remember if Tyrone Tracy's back for this. I think he might be. I don't think it's been announced yet. And if it has been, I'm not checking my phone right now. It's Wednesday. I'm sorry.
And again, last week, Saquon Barkley did have a big play. But it was a pass catch.
Yes, it was receiving.
It was a receiving touchdown. So they're not quite, again,
something was off.
Utilizing all that talent.
And it's the Eagles. I feel like they needed that, and they're going to take this game way more seriously, in my opinion. So if anything, maybe alt the Eagles to minus 6.5.
Yeah, I just don't see the Eagles covering 7.5 points personally.
I would agree with that. I also would like the Giants plus 10.5.
Yeah,
you get that field goal and a touchdown.
Yep. I really think the over, this under is way too under,
it feels
in my opinion.
Too low.
I think we're looking at like 27-23 Eagles.
Okay.
And again, divisional, primetime, keeps it closer. Otherwise, I'd say the Eagles probably by more.
Yes.
But I think at New York, they bounce back, they win, but it's not going to be a cakewalk.
Crazy. Yeah. I'd agree with that. And even that, a lot of these primetime games this year have started out slow, and then we've seen crazy scoring in the third and fourth quarter.
Yeah, and also real big turns, too.
Yes.
Like, it looks like someone's going to thrash somebody in the first quarter, second quarter.
Then some
and it turns.
So
a lot of that last week.
Coy Pond picks up until this point, not crazy this year. However, a great way to play this, since I would say it's safe to assume we're going to go with the over this week.
Yes, sir.
I like it. Coy Pond pick over 40.5. But maybe you wait a quarter. Maybe you wait the first half. Wait until that over-under hits 30 or 35,
I like your strategy on this.
Do the math. If they have 6 total points and the over-under all of a sudden is 40, you're looking for X amount of points to get there. And if it's within 3-4 touchdowns, that's been covered in a lot of these primetime games this season.
Yep.
So regardless, I'm going to take Philadelphia minus 6.5. I think they can do it. I'm also going to take the over.
Yep. Yeah. I take the over for sure. Take the Eagles. I think the Eagles win 27-23 personally.
Okay, so you think maybe a better choice would be the Giants side of things.
Mm-hmm. That's what I do.
I like it.
Yep.
It is Thursday Night Football. We've seen some real stinkers and we've seen some real good ones. So we'll have to see if the Giants show up. I'm curious. I like the game.
Yep.
London game Sunday morning. We sent over the Denver Broncos and the Jets.
Oh.
Jets.
Insult to Europe.
Yeah.
Insult to London here.
I mean, they might see an absolute barn burner blowout here from the Denver. Yeah, I think I said that right.
I mean, the Jets just are. We said it. You said it. You said it. I really thought the Cowboys weren't going to beat them by a point last week. And Cowboys played with 4 backup offensive linemen, one starter at right tackle, and had no problem in this game.
The Jets cannot get any pressure. I don't know I've heard it's apparently the scheme. The coordinator is running a different scheme than what the players are used to. I don't know if that's true or not, but it definitely seems that way with how many points have been put up on them. I'm gonna go Denver -7. If I have to pick something, it's that. Maybe even the over because it feels low. But again, the jet lag of London, I don't know what to expect. It always affects teams differently on how they get there Thursday or Friday, I think, typically.
Right. Yep.
Broncos beat the Eagles. I think I'm just going to go Broncos. I don't think there's any reason to overthink this if you're going to pick in this game.
That's right. And I'm gonna probably because of the transatlantic flight.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with an under on it.
Okay.
But I agree with you. Denver wins by more than 7.
Yeah.
I don't think the Jets have it. And Denver's defense is even better than Dallas's, so much better. I think we're looking at like 27-7 Denver.
Yep. And we'll have to see what happens. Lord knows, maybe Bo Nix has a great game. I don't know if he's played in London before, but nevertheless, we'll see how that goes. Cardinals at Colts. Indianapolis -6.5, over under 47.5. Out of the gate, I'm taking Colts -6.5. All right, right now the Colts are averaging 34 points at home. That's insane.
No.
They might have a couple injuries. I'm not too sure, but at home the Colts are absolute juggernauts right now. They've only averaged their opponents 14 points at home. The Cardinals just got done handing the game away to the Panthers. I think that was.
They were up 14-0.
I mean, you had the drop in the end zone, Day Mercado.
Yep.
I mean, I will admit, it was. I could see it going both ways. It looked like he stretched his arm out and then flicked it off with his fingertips, in which case it's in. That's not what they ruled. So be it. But also, was it the pick? Oh, no, the Cardinals lost to the Titans.
Cardinals lost to the Titans. That's right.
Same things apply. And the Cardinals had the crazy interception fumble in the end zone to the Titans, too.
Yeah.
That was, I mean, I can't get a read on the Cardinals. I was drinking the Kool-Aid. I have now choked and gagged and thrown up. I'm just taking Colts.
Kyler Murray's doing Kyler Murray things. He doesn't have a ground game. They've gone through running backs like,
James
a hot
Conner
knife
getting
through
injured.
butter.
Unfortunate.
And, we got coaches punching players, getting fined $100,000.
So funny.
So it's a little mess right now in Arizona.
And how do you not see Adonai Mitchell do that and not just hold the ball through the end zone?
Yeah.
Why? I'm not a football player. I don't know.
Yeah, Indianapolis will roll in this thing. I don't know if we get to the 47.5 or not, but the Colts will blow them out.
Yeah, that's kind of my opinion as well.
Yeah.
Chargers at Dolphins. Chargers favored 4.5. Dolphins money line. That's what I'm going to say. The Dolphins are bad. The Chargers are worse. That O-line has exploded. I think Bozeman, the center for the Chargers, has now been replaced. The Chargers no longer have Najee Harris or Marion Hampton at running back. The wide receivers are great, but they keep committing penalties that are losing them games by too much. They gave up so much to Merritt Cole or Bill Merritt Cole, whatever. Mm-hmm. Bill on the Commanders, the running back. I have no faith in this team anymore. I think sneaky pick if you want a straight bet that is exciting. Chargers travel across the country to get beat by the Dolphins. They did trade Gilman to the Ravens for, outside linebacker. So I don't think he's had much of a production in the Ravens defense, but that Ravens defense has been hurt.
Yeah.
So maybe he has a little bit of a change on the Chargers this first week. But personally, I'm no longer drinking the Kool-Aid, and it's the same old story. That O-line is too bad. Herbert's getting pressured too much. He can only do so much before he himself gets injured. I'm taking the Dolphins flat out.
Yeah, I think in this game, I'm going to go with the Chargers, and I just feel like I don't think the Chargers will cover the 4.5 points. I think they win a close one. I think Justin Herbert does enough. The defense does enough. And Tua has some mistakes. The Dolphins have some mistakes. I think that's how this one comes out.
And, that is part of it in the end is the Dolphins are just as much susceptible to penalties as the Chargers are mistakes. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Maybe take his ideas here. I am a salty Chargers fan, for the record. There is a bias here. Patriots at Saints. New England favored by 3.5. Over under 45.5. I'm kind of surprised the Patriots are only favored by 3.5. I think the Saints have looked pretty good at home up until this point. I don't know. I'm the NFL only makes sense if the Saints win this, right?
Right.
The 3.5 is a lot. I'll probably just take the Patriots to win this.
Okay.
Because I think the Saints won on a bad Giants team. I think the Giants were too overhyped. I think this line's a little off. I think Patriots only win by 2.5.
Gotcha. I think it's tough to play in New Orleans, and Drake May still basically really young, second season, coming off a big win. You got to learn how to balance those out, and level them out. I think Big High beating the Bills, and I think they're going to look at the Saints and think we're going to throttle them.
Yep.
And I think the Saints have enough there to say, hey, wait a minute, let's play the game.
Yeah.
And I think the Saints pull off a back-to-back win at home.
Oh, yeah.
And I think Spencer Rattler becomes the first drafted quarterback by the Saints to win
2 in a row.
2 in a row.
I love it. And
so I'm going 23-20 Saints.
And you know what? I don't have that much faith in the Patriots. I like them in this one only because of what it's been this season for them so far.
Yeah.
But it has seemed the Saints have something at home. I wouldn't be too surprised if that happened.
Yeah, in this fourth best rushing defense for the Patriots, the Saints have struggled to run the ball anyway.
True.
So anything they do
is going to have to be air.
Yeah, plays into the weakness of the Patriots, if you will.
I'm curious to see the matchup. Now, Browns at Steelers.
Ugh.
Steelers favored 5.5 over under 38.5. Dylan Gabriel coming off a good but not great performance in London, his rookie start. Obviously shipped Joe Flacco to the Bengals. We'll talk about that shortly. Steelers coming off a rest week.
Yeah.
Looking a little better on the offensive line. Defense been playing a little bit better. You're going Tomlin against a rookie quarterback, essentially. His second start. First one in the continental United States, technically. I don't think the Vikings look amazing right now. I might not take Pittsburgh minus 5.5. I'd probably take Pittsburgh minus 2.5. But I do like a divisional game. Steelers after a rest week at home after the Browns have just gotten back from London, personally.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. And I think, the Browns defense is starting to get worn out a little bit by what they're having to do to get these games.
Yeah.
They're tough. They're going to keep battling. But I think that the Steelers are rested.
Yes.
And I think it's going to be more of a defensive battle.
I would agree.
17-10 Pittsburgh is what I see.
Mm-hmm.
So
I have to just see a little bit more from the Browns. I picked the Browns versus the Packers a few weeks back. I think the Browns have a great defense. I think their offense will start humming, honest to God. I just want to see it once. And until I see that happen, I'm just going to pick the Steelers for now.
Yeah.
Just for the record. Now, a fun one.
Oh, yeah.
Cowboys at Panthers. Dallas minus 3 over under 49.5. Cowboys, got that bang house offense versus the defense that has seemed to struggle. Yep. And Panthers are 2-0 at home right now.
And Jerry now thinks the Cowboys are number 1.
Yeah.
If you didn't see it.
I love that. I love that from Jerry because he even gave the point and then the finger.
That's the best part. Jerry flicks off the Jets fan, and then he's like, yeah, I'm flicking you off, buddy.
If anything, Jerry got points in my book. I think if you're going to go all out, he didn't throw a drink at a fan like the Panthers owner.
That's right.
I think giving that who knows what that Jets fan was saying.
Yeah, he
probably earned it.
Oh, I'm sure he was saying all kinds of shit.
That probably made his day.
Oh, yeah.
How many times has
Look at him up there smiling.
Yeah.
And he'll probably be like, well worth the $250,000 fine the NFL assessed on him. So, the Cowboys have owned the Panthers, except for last year.
Yes.
When the Panthers went to Dallas, they throttled Dallas. It's the first time it's gone that way.
That was a bizarre showing.
Yep. And what I will say here is the wild card is Rico Dowdle.
Coming off the week he had?
Coming off, and I think they did that knowing he's got this game coming up. He wants to run all over Dallas. He does. The one thing I'm going to say that's going to be the shocker, the stopper here, I think, to keep that is Kenny Clark that they got from Michael Parsons, who has got that defense humming. And Demario Overshown is back, and that dude can close space and like an MFer.
As long as he stays healthy, that guy is elite.
That's the problem.
But he's coming back, right?
He's coming back. So he was back last week, played really well. Okay. He replaced Jack Sanborn, who got hurt. He'll be playing in this game. I think that revamped run defense will be able to
contain Dowdle.
Corral Dowdle.
Okay.
And I think the Cowboys will win. This won't be the classic blowout one way or the other. But I do think that the Cowboys like playing in Carolina for some reason. And I think we're looking at some kind of Dak is playing really well right now. Doesn't even have CD Lamb. Doesn't have a starting lineup.
Yeah.
Go figure that one out.
They're playing fun football.
Yep. But I think we're looking at something like a 28-20 kind of game. Is what I would guess. I'd take the Cowboys.
Yeah, I like the Cowboys too. I'm gonna listen to you on this one because it's hard to pick with the Panthers. They've lost to good teams on the road, aside from Arizona, but then at home they look good too. So they're they're doing better than they were last year. They're a much better team. But then you compare them to the Cowboys that have this crazy offense that they'll have to keep up with, but also Dottle, who could at any point for some reason feels like break off for 70 yards. I don't think he will in this game, but with that type of heat and that much hatred for the Cowboys, players have done it in the past and won games.
They have. And here's another neutralizer I just remembered too. Don't forget Jadeveon Clowney is playing his second game with the Cowboys. So former Panther going the other way. And when you watch the tape of him playing last week, he could do some things that no end that Dallas could do.
Okay.
Got a lot of speed, gets off the edge and sets the edge. So that's going to be another interesting subplot to this whole thing.
I like it. We're all Cowboys. Why not? Okay. We got a fun one here. Seahawks at Jaguars. Jaguars are favored 1.5, over under 47.5. Now, in this matchup, we've got one of the best passing offenses with the Seahawks versus one of the worst passing defenses. Just yards per game. I'm not deep diving this too much. Strange, the tight end for the Jaguars, is out. He had that hip issue at like halftime last week.
Is that Cole Strange or something like that?
I think it's Cole Strange. Yeah. He's been having a great year though.
Yeah.
He was, I think, their leading passer.
Wow.
Receiver. Sorry, said that completely backwards. But Jaguars coming off that hot win against Kansas City. There was plenty both ways you could say, but regardless, the Jaguars won that game.
Yep.
And Seahawks coming off a close loss to the Buccaneers, who seem to be electric right now.
Sam Darnold is putting up some
Sam
yards.
Darnold's putting numbers up.
Yeah, putting numbers up.
I sincerely have to eat my words on him in the preseason. I thought he would revert back to New York Jets. Sam Darnold, I was dead wrong. Ninjigba looks amazing.
Yep.
Brian Thomas had some great clutch catches versus the Chiefs. What's his name? Leonard. Leonard on the Jaguars. Pick 6, 99 yards.
Oh, yeah.
He's playing
Incredible.
in his contract year.
Yep.
Just to get hurt next year, probably. But he's playing phenomenal right now. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Seahawks now have to travel to Florida after getting beat by Florida.
Yeah. Duval, right?
Duval.
Jacksonville at home is tough.
Clanton is at an all-time high.
Yeah. I think, again, Sam Darnold puts up a lot of yardage, a lot of touchdowns. Mm-hmm. I think the Jaguars at home right now are pretty tough.
I think ticket sales might have spiked after that Chiefs win. I mean, they would be 5-0, except they lost to someone earlier in the season.
Cincinnati.
The Joe Burrow injury game.
Yep, that's right.
So, Jaguars legit. I think the Seahawks are too legit.
Yep.
But Jaguars at home, I'm going to go with the edge on there. And just the 1.5, why not? They probably win by at least 3.
Yeah, I'm thinking 34-31 Jags.
Yep. I can't believe I'm picking Duval in 2025. Discriminate. This is terrible. What could be a way worse game? Rams at Ravens. Rams favored by 7.5, over under 44.5. Defense obliterated a little bit still. Lamar Jackson, I think, is pushing to come back. I think front office is probably not as pressed to get him back as quickly. Derrick Henry's been struggling. I think that's very apparent. Those stats have been coming around this week 1 versus weeks 2 through 5.
Just terrible. Cooper Rush was awful.
Yeah, I need to see the Ravens defense stop anybody.
No.
And you're going up against Puka Nacua. You're going up against Kyron Williams, Blake Corum, Stafford, Higbee. Devontae Adams.
Sean McVay.
He
knows what the hell he's doing.
Yeah, unless he plays the 49ers. I'm going to take the Rams minus 6.5. I'm going to alt that down a little bit. I know they're traveling to Baltimore, but I just have to think the Rams don't lose the same way this week. It feels like they probably thought less of Mac Jones in that game.
Yeah.
Obviously, Shanahan just felt a different type of way and maybe not out-coached, but the 49ers hung in that game and won. I think the Rams will just be able to maybe not kill, but the Ravens defense hasn't been able to stop anybody yet. I have no reason to think they'll be able to stop someone this week.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the Rams go into Baltimore and just beat the shit out of the Ravens. Ravens right now are just reeling. They don't know what to do. If Lamar Jackson comes back, maybe a different pick here.
Yes.
Or a different storyline at least.
A different story. Again, we're going off of, at this very moment, I don't think he's for sure starting.
Yeah.
Cooper Rush.
So we're assuming if it's Cooper Rush,
yes.
I'm going with 28-13 Rams.
I have to think the Rams are just able to win this game and it not be too much of a storyline. 4 o'clock slate. Titans at Raiders. Las Vegas now favored by 5.5. Over under 41.5. I think there's only one difference in this game, and that is Ashton Genty. If he keeps on keeping on, the Raiders will win this game, I think, with maybe not ease, but way easier.
Yeah.
If Geno Smith has to throw the ball in this game, I think you could give this game right to the Titans, personally.
Yeah.
If this
That's a good point.
Spread were to get to 7.5, I would love to take the Titans. I don't think this game will be a blowout no matter what. However, Ashton Genty is that difference. He's back to his Michael Myers stance. I think Titans can't really stop the run. They have the third worst rushing defense. But again, they've been trailing in games, so the opposing offense is only ever going to run the ball on them. I think I'm going to say Titans plus 7.5.
Okay.
I think the Titans are fun and frisky right now.
All right. Fun and frisky.
Fun and frisky.
Fun and frisky pick of the week, huh?
That's one of the couple, maybe.
All right.
Yes.
I'm going to go with the Raiders winning 23-17.
Okay.
So I think the Raiders cover the 5.5 on this 5.5 point spread and take the under. There won't be more than 41.5 points.
I like that. I mean, it's the Raiders. Geno's had so many interceptions.
It's horrible. It's on pace for 30. If
the Titans come out scoring, going 7-0 out of the first drive, and the Raiders have to start throwing the ball, that score could go 28-0. But I think Ashton Genty's back. I think this will be a fun game to watch because these teams aren't affecting anybody right now.
Yeah.
No one has a reason not to be has a reason to be afraid of them. Now, a real X factor 4:00 game in Lambeau. Bengals at Packers. Packers are favored by 14.5.
Massive.
Do we really think Packers at home have been a different story than Packers away this season.
True.
Bengals get Joe Flacco. Chance to throw to some of the best wide receivers he's ever had in his career. 14.5 points.
Yeah.
It's at Lambeau. They've been electric at Lambeau. They tied it to the Cowboys. They lost to Joe Flacco earlier at Cleveland. I kind of feel like 14.5 is an absurd amount of points.
Absurd, in my opinion.
I feel like you could go Bengals plus 17.5.
Yeah.
And you'd be okay because Joe Flacco, again, fun and frisky. And now he has even better wide receivers. Now, that O-line might kill Joe Flacco in the first quarter. Let's be honest here.
True.
Micah Parsons might decapitate Joe Flacco.
True.
I don't know how bad the Packers defense was, or I guess it was a low-scoring game, so the Packers defense was probably good against Cleveland.
Yeah.
But I mean, I have to assume Micah Parsons is head-hutting, and I love Joe Flacco for what he's done over the last 5 teams he's been on. But I don't know what to expect. Yeah. I like the plus 17.5 for the Bengals. I think they are also fun and frisky for the spread. And we don't know what we're getting, so it's not fair to be like it'll be a loss by 20.5.
Yeah.
It might be.
Yeah, I think the Toby Keith song comes to mind. Not as good as I was, but I'm good once as I ever was. And I think Joe Flacco has a out-of-body game. I think the Packers win the game.
Right.
But I think Joe Flacco steps into a situation that he can't believe.
Yep.
And there's enough talent on that offense.
Yeah.
I think it's 31-27 Packers.
Yep.
But I do think that Joe Flacco makes a difference and finds, a friend in Father Time one more time. And I think he has a big game. 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, something like that.
He said in the past that his kids weren't old enough to remember his glory days, so now he does it so they can remember Dad played football.
Yeah.
Now, is it worth this treatment? I don't know, because, the pressures that the Bengals can't stop is crazy.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see.
That's right.
Should be fun to watch. 49ers at Buccaneers. Tampa Bay favored by 3. 49ers coming off that win at L.A. to the Rams. Buccaneers coming off that win at Seattle. 49ers now traveling across the country to Tampa Bay. Buccaneers looking hot. Hot.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember that, it's funny, it was a week ago only, that Rams-49ers game.
Yeah.
There were some odd coaching moments in overtime. There was some bad kicking from Cardi on the Rams that kind of cost him that game.
2 of them, right?
At least. I think it was a field goal and an extra point. Yeah. I'm going to take Buccaneers -3. I like that that's just at -3 right now. You don't have to worry about the hook. Mac Jones is good.
He was very good.
I think Mac Jones, we can say, is good, let alone a backup quarterback. We'll see how long that stays. I don't know if Brock Purdy is back yet or not. I think that's still something that they're sorting out.
It looks like has a good chance to play.
Okay. And then you have Ricky Pearsall. You have, I think, one other wide receiver on the 49ers that might be back this week. I like the Buccaneers. Personally, regardless of who's playing quarterback, I think the Buccaneers are home right now. The Buccaneers look good. It probably will come down to a final drive again from Baker Mayfield, but at -3, they can kick that field goal to win the game, and you're at least pushing.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. The Buccaneers win. I think it's something like 26-21. Buccaneers are tough. They're at home. 49ers played a hell of a game last week. Mm-hmm. I think Buccaneers are just a little bit better right now.
Yeah, and I think, honestly, what lost the Rams that game was some odd coaching from McVay that you don't see often. And that kicker on the Rams could be executed at the 50, and it wouldn't matter in the game, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy to say. I'm sorry. Sunday night, Lions at Chiefs. Kansas City favored by 2.5. Over under 52.5. So the Lions have averaged over 40 points a game in the last 4 games. Kansas City has averaged 25 points this season over 5 games. I felt like the Packers were an outlier. That's why I took that out of the Lions statistics there. I get that this is a Sunday night game in Arrowhead. It means probably a little bit more to Patrick Mahomes there. Who knows? Maybe Taylor Swift's there for Travis Kelce. I feel like the Lions are on a just steamrolling mission right now.
Yeah.
I think they got embarrassed at Lambeau. I don't think that happens again. The Chiefs barely lost to the Jaguars. I think the Jaguars are good, but there was dumb mistakes on the Chiefs in that game, and I'm not convinced they've figured that out yet. It's home. Might mean a little difference. Obviously, it's Jared Goff outside then you're betting on, who he already had the Lambeau game, so something to be said there, but Chris Jones just can't get to the quarterback right now.
Yeah.
Chiefs secondary looks good. Chiefs offense, Xavier Worthy might get hurt next week. He's been perpetually hurt since Travis Kelce dropped him on accident in Brazil. So that being said, I don't have a doubt Patrick Mahomes can spread the ball around, but that offense just doesn't give me much hope at the moment. Yeah, you have Kareem Hunt when it's first and goal, but you haven't been first and goal that much.
Yeah, and if they think that the Jaguars were a lot to handle last week, I know it's at home, but the Lions right now are just
humming.
It
feels like they're back to it. I love probably just the Lions money line here. I get a little extra value with it and not have to. The spread's great, but what's 2.5 going to do for you?
Right. So, for our listeners out there, explain to us what money line means.
Oh, betting terms. I should have put this at the beginning.
No, that's okay.
So your 3 generic bets you have when you're betting on the NFL
Yep.
are money line, spread, over under. The money line is basically the value of the team to win. So those odds are always going to be more like a plus 210 and a minus 190 or something along those lines.
Okay.
At 19 to win 10 or 20 or 10 to win 21 for plus the 210 or the minus 190.
Right.
Your spread. You have to think of spread like you're going into that game and not anymore 0-0. So if you're going and you have, let's say, Lions Chiefs, if you take the Chiefs minus 2.5, the beginning score of that game for you is going to be 3-0 Lions, essentially. The Chiefs have to win by 3 for that bet to hit. Now, if you were to take the Lions plus 2.5, that means they're given 2 points, and the half is what determines who wins and loses. So the Lions would start that game 2-0. So then if the Chiefs score, it's only 2-7. And that's how you can kind of play the spread in your head a little bit better. Obviously, over-under is total points. I think that's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah. So money line is just something that the bettors establish.
Yeah, the books establish a value for what
both
they
teams.
think. Yeah, for what they think just to outright win.
And it's kind of tied into. Is it tied into the spread at all?
I would imagine those numbers hold hands.
Okay.
Typically they do. I think is you can have a money line and then you convert that into a spread based on the value of that money line.
Why would you play one of those, meaning spread or money line, over the other?
Well, in NFL football, American football, however you want to say it, you have some key points of spreads. You have 3 points, 7 points, and maybe. Well, no, it's really just 3 and 7, honestly, because that's how most scores are going to happen. Multiples are 3 or 7. So when you take a spread from like the 3.5 to 2.5, you're going to take the favorite team, but you don't want to lose all the value by taking the money line.
Okay.
It's kind of like you want to assume that if a team's going to win that close, they're already going to win by 3. So you take the 2.5 to win the bet, but you get better odds on that than you do on the money line if you think they're going to win.
Okay, it's a better payoff.
Better payout.
Okay.
So that a minus 2.5 might be minus 120, where the money line, if they're plus 3.5 or minus 3.5, is going to be more like minus 180.
Okay.
You're getting back cents on the dollar, essentially.
Okay.
And if you're, parlaying that sort of thing, that's one way to think about it too, is it's like, well, this payout's 10 to win 40, but if I switch them to minus 2.5 and minus 2.5, it's 10 to win 60.
Okay.
And essentially you're betting the same thing that way, because unless something crazy happens, which it always seems to do to whoever's betting it, you're then betting either bet's a win, but you're just going to take those 2.5 points assuming that they win by at least 3. If that's how you feel.
Interesting.
So that's kind of how you can pick the money lines and pick the spreads better. Because let's say in this Rams-Ravens, Rams are favored by 7.5. If you take the money line, that's probably minus 500, minus 400. So that's $50 to win $10.
Okay.
No value there.
Yeah.
But if you alt it to 6.5, and you're like, I think they'll at least win by a touchdown given the Ravens' defense this season, that bet's probably more like minus 120.
Okay.
And you get, it's all of a sudden it's $12 to win $10.
Okay.
So
gotcha.
it's better value there.
Better payoff. Okay. Yeah. Risk reward, whatever.
Exactly. And that's why Lions Chiefs, I would say just take the Lions money line, because plus 2.5 is that's not enough points you get for any significant scoring play.
Okay.
Now, if it was Kansas City plus 3.5, I might just take the Lions there, because then a field goal by the Chiefs at the end of the game, you still win your bet.
Okay.
Because then the Lions get 3.5 points. They get 4, basically.
Got ya.
And I'm sure that was confusing for some people out there, but good to know. If you made it this far through the video, you might be interested.
Little education never hurts, right?
Little education never hurts. All right, Monday night games. We got a doubleheader again this week. Bills at Falcons. Buffalo's favored by 4.5. Over under 49.5. Now, this is odd because it feels like we're getting a discount on the Bills. Falcons have not had great defensive bouts against good quarterbacks. They've played J.J. McCarthy, Bryce Young, Marcus Mariota. You think, okay, if the Falcons' defense has been good, well, those are 3 of the quarterbacks they've faced so far. And you could say, at the time, 2 of those quarterbacks weren't great, and Marcus Mariota is a backup quarterback. Falcons have the 26th ranked red zone touchdown scoring percentage.
Wow.
So a lot of that came from that Vikings game they had where they just could not get a touchdown in the end zone to score or find a touchdown in the red zone for the life of them. But it's at Atlanta. I think there's probably a little bit back and forth there, but I'm a big fan of the Bills in this one.
Yeah.
I think the Bills have a get-right game.
Yeah.
There were some uncharacteristic turnovers in that Bills game where it was, I think, maybe a fumble, but I remember 2 interceptions by Josh Allen that were really the wide receiver's fault.
Yeah.
So, if I had to guess, I'm going to just go with the Bills on this one. Money line, I don't want any wishy-washy, any ticky-tacky to screw me up. Falcons have looked good. I don't think Michael Penix has looked that good.
Yeah. I think the Bills are going to be pissed off. Again, they'll get their shit in order. Atlanta, up and down, kind of.
Yep.
And I think the Bills win 31-23.
Yep. I have a similar sentiment. Bears at Commanders. Commanders favored by 4.5. Over under 49.5 as well. Here we go again. Bears Commanders. The Hail Mary play from last year that's propelled the Commanders into the playoffs. And the Bears, who look better, but still look like the Bears at times.
That's right.
I have just got to assume that the Commanders are able to run all over the Bears, similarly to how they did the Chargers. The Bears have one of the worst rushing defenses in the NFL right now. I don't know how Caleb Williams feels about that Commanders game from last year. That's something to think about, is he might be playing with a little bit more fire in this game. Late Monday night game in Washington.
Yeah.
But I feel like the Commanders have held it together. Dan Quinn has been there through it all.
Yeah.
I think Jaden Daniels might be back this week.
Yeah, he is back.
He is back this week.
Yep, because he did play last week. Yep,
shit.
That's right.
How much I watched, but I think Commanders handled this.
Yeah, and where last week I thought it was going to take him a quarter to get going, or a game to get going. He got going in a quarter.
Yeah, and the running game helps a lot.
It did, and the guy with 3 names,
Bill Merritt Cole or something like that,
looked really good. He had 1 fumble, but he's going to be just fine.
Yeah,
guy's tough. Guy's really tough.
Yep.
And I see, the Commanders winning this one 31-20.
Yeah, I would agree. I think Commanders, I think you could lay the 4.5, maybe take the 6.5, just if you already think they're going to win by a touchdown at least, but I think it's a pretty safe bet. And you know what? We'll have to see. There's always something that throws us off every week in the NFL.
That's what keeps it interesting.
That's what keeps it interesting.
Yeah.
And going forward, I might create some more tier lists and post them on Twitter. That was fun.
Yeah.
I was doing little power rankings and tier lists for each NFL team. So
nice.
Maybe I'll throw some more of those out there. But nevertheless, is that all you got?
That's it, man.
Hey, everyone have a safe and fun week on the NFL. And we'll see you all next week on the Coy Pond.
Right on.
Peace.